Hi, I'm going to continue with our video for lesson 6.4, solving real life systems of equations. We left off on example 4. In this case, we're dealing with two candles. We have two candles that burn at different rates and they're different size candles. H is representing the height of the candle and T is time in minutes. So my first candle here, by the way, it doesn't tell me a unit for the measurement, so I'm just going to say inches because why not? So this one tells me the height of the candle will be 66 minus 3t. Just thinking about this, it tells me then at 0 time, my candle would be 66 inches. So my candle starts at 66 inches and then goes down 3 inches every minute. My second candle starts at 38 inches then and goes down at the rate of 5/4 of an inch every minute. Now, normally I tell you to keep this as an improper fraction. If we're graphing it for sure, I would like it as an improper fraction because it would be my slope. I'd go down 5 and write 4. But since we're solving it as an equation, I'm going to change it to a decimal just to make my life a little easier. Change that to negative 1.25. Just makes my math a little easier. If you like fractions, keep yours a fraction. That is fine. Okay, what method is best for solving this? Well, whenever I see an h equals, I think substitution. So I'm going to take this h equals 66 minus 3t. And if I'm saying that's what h is, I should be able to plug that package in right here where h is on my other equation. So now let's rewrite my equation and solve it. I have 66 minus 3t. That is plugging that h right here into here. That will equal 38 minus 1.25 or 5/4, whichever you prefer, t. And when I solve this, it will tell me when the height of these two candles will be the same. That's what I'm looking for. I have a multi-step equation here with variables on both sides. First, I'm going to move my variables all to one side. As we like to say, I'm going to go to the bigger party by adding 3t to both sides. This leaves me with 66 on this side and 38 negative 1.25t plus 3t will give me a positive 1.75t. Now let's move this 38 over to the other side by subtracting 38 from both sides. Will be gone from this side, leaving me with 1.75t. And 36 minus 38 is 28. My last step, I'm going to divide both sides by 1.75. And I believe that's going to be 16, but I am going to use my calculator to verify it because I don't want to make a math mistake here. So 28 divided by 1.75 is 16. So we're talking time here. We're talking 16 minutes. So now I want to know my height. Well, I'm going to actually plug it into both. Because if I did this right, the height of both will be the same. So I'm going to put my first candle on one side and my second candle on the other. And I'm trying to find out their height after 16 minutes because they should be the same. The height of this one, 66 minus 3 times my time, and my time is 16 minutes. So my height will equal 66 minus 48, 16 times 3. So my height of my first candle will be 18 inches after 16 minutes. Let's check to make sure that my second candle will also be 18 inches after 16 minutes. I'm going to do 38 minus 5/4 times 16. I'm going to multiply this. Remember, simplify before you multiply. This will become a 1. This will become a 4, dividing both by 4. So now I have 5 times 4 is 20 over 1, or just 20. So I have 38 minus 20. Give me my height. And I do know that 38 minus 20 is 18. So after 16 minutes, my second candle will also be 18 inches tall. Let's look at my next example. I have quarters and I have dimes, and the total value is $6.85. When it says he has 37 quarters and dimes, that means we don't know the combination of the quarters and dimes. We just know that together the quantity of coins is 37. I'm going to use a Q for the number of quarters I have, or Mr. Gene has, I should say, and D for the number of dimes. Well, one thing I do know is my number of quarters plus my number of dimes equals 37, because I have 37 total coins. Now, I also know that the value of these coins is $6.85. Well, what can I do with that information? I know these coins together have to equal $6.85. How much is each quarter worth? Each quarter is worth 25 cents, or 0.25. So 25 cents times the number of each quarter, or times the number of quarters will give me my value of my quarters. And each dime is worth 0.10 cents. Not 0.10 cents, 0.10. Actually, $0.10. 0.10. So that will tell me the value of my dimes. So now let's look at this. What's my best way of solving this? I could rewrite my first equation as like Q equals 37 minus D, or D equals 37 minus Q, and do substitution. That would be a pretty easy substitution. I could also multiply to get, use elimination, multiply something by something. When I look at this, they are written in standard form, and I usually go to substitution when I have it written in standard form. But what would I multiply by? I could multiply this whole thing by 0.25. That would negative 0.25, so my quarters cancel out. I could multiply this whole equation by negative 0.1. That way my dimes would cancel out. But another way I could look at this, if I multiplied this whole equation by negative 4, I would end up with a negative 1q, which would cancel. Or I could multiply this whole equation by negative 10, and I would end up with a negative 1d, which would cancel. So many options. Which one should I do? I don't know. I'm going to go with multiplying this one by negative 4 for no reason other than it feels not too hard to me right now. 4s aren't too big a number to multiply by. Multiplying by negative 10 wouldn't be bad either. But I know it's going to leave me with a weird decimal over here. So negative 4 times 0.25 will leave me with a negative 1q. Negative 4 times 0.1d will give me a negative 0.4d. And $6.85 times 4. I don't know what that is. So I'm going to multiply that. Will give me a negative 27.40. Okay, so now my q's cancel out. Positive q and a negative q cancel out. 1d and a negative 0.4d will give me a 0.6d. And 37 and negative 27.40 will give me 9.60. Let's divide both sides by 0.6. This will cancel out, and it will leave me with d equals, I'm going to check my math because I don't trust myself, 9.6 divided by 0.6, 16. 16 dimes. Well, how many? 16 dimes, by the way, is worth $1.60, so that's good to know. So how many quarters do I have? Well, I know my quarters plus my number of dimes, and my number of dimes is 16, equals 37. Let's subtract 16 from both sides. And my number of quarters would be 21. I have 21 quarters. So 21 quarters is $5.25. So just doing a quick check, 21 plus 16 is my 37 total coins. And $5.25 plus $1.60 is $6.85. So my math works, and I know I have the correct answer. I know many of you don't like to check. Why wouldn't you check it? You'll know that you have the correct answer then. I have a used car lot that has motorcycles and trucks. I'm going to call my number of motorcycles M, my number of trucks T. There are 27 vehicles, and 80 total tires in the lot. Well, that's interesting. So, my number of motorcycles plus my number of trucks equals 27 because I have 27 total vehicles. Some are motorcycles, some are trucks. Now, the next part are the number of tires. Well, we know that each motorcycle has 2 tires. We also know that each truck, most trucks anyway, have 4 tires. We're going to assume these are just standard normal trucks. And my total number of tires is 80. Again, I could do elimination really easy with this one because they're both written in standard form. I could also do substitution pretty easy on this. I'm going to stick with elimination. When it's in standard form, I usually use elimination. I'm going to multiply this entire top equation by -2 so my motorcycles cancel out. -2 times m, -2m. -2 times my number of trucks will be -2t. And -2 times 27 will be -54. You can see my m's cancel out, leaving me with this single variable equation. So I have 2t equals 80 minus 54 is 26. Let's divide both sides by 2. And my number of trucks is 13. I'm going to write that here, trucks. I'm just going to put T because I'm lazy. Trucks are 13. And my 13 trucks, having 4 wheels or tires on each one, will leave me with 52 tires. Well, I know that my total number of motorcycles plus my number of trucks, and my number of trucks is 13, equals 27 total vehicles. Let's subtract 13 from both sides. And my number of motorcycles is 14. Well, my 14 motorcycles, having 2 wheels on each one, will give me 28 tires on my motorcycle. So this leaves me with 27 total vehicles, 13 plus 14, with 80 tires. That's it. So those are all my examples for today. Have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you soon.